I look to them like in the past, they've provided the critical data that helped us come up with analysis to address issues in the past. We obviously don't have the funds here in town to do the readings and whatnot ourselves. And I've looked to them in the past for some critical information. I think it's helped a lot. I personally walked the areas that they show that had damage. So I think that's the best way to go, is actually to ask them for input and help us supply the town. They also have internships, so there's a lot of different avenues to this. Educational, help to the town, plus save us money. Thank you.
Well, as a current Selectmen's representative on the Estuaries Committee, I'm very well aware of the issues facing our river and all of our waterways, actually. One of the approaches that that both the Watershed Alliance and the Estuaries Committee and some of the members of the committee have gone to have received a degree of success on is going to the state. The state is mandating that we need to clean these things. We need to clean up the river. We need to stop some of these pollutants from getting into the river. And we've gone to the state and asked them, look, you're saddling us with millions and millions of dollars worth of cleanup efforts when you pass these regulations. Is there some funding source that the state could come up with that could help us in order to fund these types of projects? And the state has been working through the legislature to try to come up with some kind of water and sewer fund that would fund capital projects, which would lead to remediation of issues dealing with the pollution that's coming into the river. Quite frankly, a lot of it is from runoff from development and from roadways. Roadways are the biggest source of probably pollution in the entire river. The nitrates that are coming into the river are coming from either septic systems, roadways, or fertilizers. And those are the things that choke the river and starve it of oxygen and cause a condition known as eutrophication, which is low oxygen content in the water. It kills the fish. It kills the all other plants other than low oxygen tolerant algae, and it really chokes the river system. And that's something that we really need to address, and our nonprofits have helped greatly in helping fund projects such as the head of Westport stormwater management project and the small okay, sorry, thank you.
I'm glad to hear, Brian, that the farmers are not the cause of this problem, because for years that's what I heard the problem was on the river, and we lost a lot of farmers because of it. Even though we tried to say that at town meeting a number of times, we never got that point across. Let me say, though, even though I'm a farmer, and I felt very passionately about that, as chairman of the community preservation, I worked with the river group, and I worked with other special interest groups to work with CPC funding to try to come up, not with just a study, but try to come up with a plan. The study was part of that plan. And what's going to be released in the next few weeks is a result of that first step. But at that time, the special interest was supposed to be developing a further study working with a solution phase. The solution phase hasn't come about yet. So we need to work together and start working on that. Otherwise, the money we used for CPC was used inappropriately. The commitment was made some 7 years ago to go forward with this, but also have that just part of an overall plan. But it's at least refreshing to hear that the farmers were not a cause. It's just too bad that we don't have them on the river anymore, because we could have solved this problem and still kept the farming community going at the same time.
I'm grateful for the work that the nonprofit organizations have done to bring the data that we need to understand how we can preserve the health of our community through the river. I think that what Tony has said and what Brian and Steve have alluded to is that this is data. It leads the town to make the policies and the actions that we have to go forward with, and it's just a very strong partnership. I regret that there isn't more opportunity for people to understand some of these findings, because they're kind of complicated, and so to understand what it means. And I appreciate the work and hope that we can all get to learn more about it.
Thank you. If you're a chemist, a biologist, or someone in the scientific field, then you could understand what that question was. I understand that CMAS is coming out in June or July with an intensive report regarding the estuaries in this area. Your tax dollars have been asked to provide $20,000 through the CPC, and it's going to be on the town warrant, to study the study that CMAS is putting out that'll be out in June. I think that $20,000 is ill-advised and ill-spent. It's your tax dollars going to study the study, and not being facetious, but I wonder if they would allow me to put something forward on a warrant that says I want $20,000 to study the study of the study. It can get ridiculous. Let's wait, see what that CMAS study says about the estuaries, and take it from there. And also, as far as the volunteer organizations, God love them. I've been a volunteer for many, many years. But the question was, what would we advise the volunteer groups to do? I would advise the volunteer groups to do what they do. I'm not going to tell them what to do. Thank you.